We're a crowd in the kitchen today. We're back in the QED Cook's kitchen with the folks from F. Tambellini's, the one down on 7th Street next to the Benedum in downtown Pittsburgh. And we're delighted to have Chef Dwayne Moore, our Steel City chef from Tambellini's. We have Charlie Pellegrini and Janet is here.
Nice to be here.
To be here as I guess moral support for Chef Dwayne. You know your restaurant has been there for
57 years.
57 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be part of the downtown scene. You were downtown before there was a downtown.
Before there was a cultural district.
That's
We're
right.
a Pittsburgh institution, really.
Yeah. Well, that's terrific.
Yes.
And they've been good enough to come here, and they're going to make. This is one of your specialties down at the restaurant, obviously. Chef, tell me about this dish.
Okay, it's a veal ossobuco. What we do, we used to use the whole ossobucos, and those, over the years, it got real high in price, and that's what we did. Now we go with a 1.5 inch cut.
Right.
They weigh about 1 pound each. And then what we're going to do, actually, we'll show them how to take the silver skin off of it.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is you want to plug it with some little bit of garlic.
Well, let's do it.
A little bit of fresh sage. Okay, we'll show them here.
So this is the dish that everybody hears about, ossobuco.
Right.
A very rustic, really Italian dish that we've had there for 40 years now.
Right.
It's
and again, this must be one of the popular dishes that you have down there as well.
Yes,
It's lasted on the menu for this long.
Okay, what we're doing here, what I did here is we're taking the silver skin off.
Okay, that's that outer
skin.
Skin which stays tough, I guess, or
Yeah, it gets real tough, and you don't want to actually chew it and all that.
yeah.
Okay, then afterwards, what you want to do here, we're going to take some garlic. Just going to slice it up real quick.
Mm-hmm. Now your menu is obviously on the Italian side.
We're primarily Italian.
Mm-hmm.
We have some American influences as well.
Uh-huh.
But this focus is Northern Italy. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, you have that terrific website, eatzucchini.com.
Eatzucchini.com. Love to have you there and sign up for a free appetizer.
And that's because zucchini is the other thing. When we did What Pittsburgh Eats, we talked about the fact that Pittsburghers love fried zucchini.
Well, we developed it at Tambellini's downtown, and this was our mainstay that we were known for. And still, Pittsburgh, we're such a Pittsburgh original, and Pittsburghers love us. It's pure Pittsburgh, the legendary zucchini.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what you want to use is about a cup of oil on the pan.
Okay. So you're really gonna fry these. It's more than just a sear.
Right. And you want to use olive oil. You want to get the olive oil almost to a smoking point, but not, where it's going to burn or anything.
Right.
Okay, now I plug my holes in here already. What you want to do is you want to take some fresh garlic, stick it inside.
Right in by the bone, huh?
Right in by the bone. And then the flavor actually goes all through the meat, so
yeah.
That's what you want to do. Then we got some fresh rosemary here. You want to take a little bit of fresh rosemary.
We like the flavors to infuse into the meat while it's cooking. So we actually put those herbs right down in there.
And right. Just a pinch of fresh sage.
Now again, fresh, some herbs fresh, some dried. It depends upon the
Over the years,
dish.
we're noted for using fresh spices, and mainly the rosemary and sage. You can pretty much get that all year round.
Yeah.
And then some of the other spices you can't get all year round, so pretty much, you want to be careful on it. But the rosemary's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is actually a rosemary stick that we got.
Uh-huh.
And then this is the sage here.
Yeah, I have both of those growing in my backyard. They grow really well in this region. So you can have those fresh herbs at home.
Right. Well, Charlie's dad, Nello, he grows a lot of the fresh herbs for us, like on the rosemary and the basil.
Oh yeah.
Or sage and that he'll grow for us. Yeah, we bring it down to the restaurant. He brings.
So this is really a family affair here.
Everybody's involved. Yeah.
Now, did you grow up in the restaurant business, Charlie?
I actually did.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And my first career was in electrical engineering, but I came into the restaurant even before I went into at University of Pittsburgh here in Oakland.
Uh-huh.
And I was busing, started as busing, and went to my other career, then come back into the family business. My mother, Mary Anello, started the business 57 years ago with my Aunt Frances.
Wow.
So.
Okay, now what we're going to do is take some oregano, salt, and pepper.
Right.
And just a pinch of basil. And I used the rest of the garlic that we had cut there.
Right.
Just going to sprinkle it over a little bit, all around it.
Just get it on everything. And how about you, Chef? How did you get into this crazy business of being a chef?
Actually, I started down at the restaurant about 32 years ago. I started out as a busboy, and Franco used to be there years ago, and that's where I started learning. And then, fortunately, we had an accident down at the restaurant where I went to Louis for about a year and worked there, and then come back down to the Tambellini's and Sunnyside. Still been down there for 32 years now.
Wow. So it's sort of on-the-job training for you.
Right. And then you learn from over the years what other people, watching what other people do and all that. Yeah, and you pick up things, and then actually a lot of dishes are made by just playing around. You know, people play around, you try something different. And you
start with the basic Italian rubric and then just go from there. Yeah.
And a few of our pasta dishes, that's how we come up with them, just, you know, playing around. You make something for yourself. Doesn't look good at first, but then afterwards it is. Okay, now what you want to do is take some flour. And
dredge that up?
Dredge it up real good.
You're another chef that cooks with his hands. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now you want to put them in the skillet. Saute pan.
Yeah. Now, how many seats? How big a restaurant is at Tambellini's down there?
You know, we're pre-theater primarily. We service the Benedict Hines and all the others, the O'Reilly, and we go up to about 200.
200. Oh, that's a pretty big restaurant.
We have the pre-theater surge, and so these are things that can be done ahead of time. You know, this is a 2.5 hour prep time with Chef Dwayne, but then we can serve it. You know, for the pre-theater people.
Right.
And very timely. You know.
Yeah, because after we sear these, then I mean, this is all going to get put into the oven, right?
That's correct.
They'll go in the oven. They'll go in the oven actually for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And if you have a regular oven at home, you want to do it for about 3 hours at 325 degrees. If you have a convectionary oven, you can lower it down to 300 for about 2 hours.
Okay.
And this way we kind of predict how many we're going to need for the evening.
Right.
And
you can make them ahead, yeah.
We make them up, and when they're gone, they're gone.
It's an item we do run out of, you know, pretty quick, because you don't want them having laying over for the next day and all that.
No.
Yeah. So we do run out of them pretty quick. I mean, sometimes we get people who are mad, but, you know, you try to explain to them why you do it, and, you know.
Come early. Hey, you know.
You come early. You make sure you have enough of them.
I don't know about you folks, but I have found a little trick about eating out in Pittsburgh. Go early. They don't, not for the early bird special, but I just mean, it's just you can find a seat at most restaurants if you go at 6 o'clock. If you wait till 7:30, then you're going to be fighting with everybody else for a place to sit down. So, because before theater, it's important to make sure you have enough time, so you're not rushed through before.
That's correct. But we are, you know, we focus on that, and we're very good at getting people out before the show. Yes.
Right.
Okay, usually it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to get them browned on each side. You want to brown them up real nice and crisp, like on each side and all that. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Well, meanwhile, we're going to dice some onions. You know, I have some cut right here. Okay, we're going to saute that actually with the same herbs, because you don't want to mix, you know, change them too much. The onions, you can go real, you know, just cut them like this. Doesn't have to be exact size or nothing.
Okay. Peppers and onions.
Peppers and onions.
Great combination.
We also have party room, banquet rooms upstairs, and we have a lot of parties up there. We do bridal showers and
you're just going to mix them a
rehearsal
little bit
dinners, and so we have private dining rooms as well upstairs on the second floor. A lot of people don't know that. It's right in downtown Pittsburgh.
Now here you just want to take a whole garlic and just crush it just to get some of the oils out of it.
Right. Okay, put that splash in there. Get some flavor. Well, as with most things, you know, television cooking is a lot different than restaurant cooking. You know, so we may want to turn those, even if they're not as brown as you would have made them in the restaurant. Oh, no, they're not bad.
They're
that's pretty good. Just the browning adds that layer of flavor, that caramelization that goes on in the bottom of the pan. And
actually, if you notice where we poked the hole now,
that's
we did that on top. Now, what it's going to do when you flip it, it'll actually seal that hole back up and keep the spices actually inside. Of it.
That's great. Okay.
Okay, this one here now.
Yep. Let's go into
throw some pepper and onions in there and saute them.
You know, I could eat a bowl of peppers and onions. That's, you know.
I love the onions. Okay, same thing. You might take some of your fresh rosemary.
Right.
Your fresh sage, just a pinch of sage, not too much. A little bit of oregano, pepper, and salt.
And we just saute that?
Right, we'll just saute that up then. Just get a little crisp.
Now, this would cook until the second side was brown.
Right, so the second side's nice and brown. Then after that, you're going to add tomato fillets.
Now, this is whole plum tomatoes. Is that what you
right,
like?
Whole plum tomatoes crushed on. Okay,
Right.
but you could actually buy them, which we buy them already. Okay, it's in actually a number 10 can. I haven't seen them smaller yet to buy in the stores yet. But we use Saporito tomato fillets. That's what ours are. Okay, then you want to use a ham stock. You want to put a little bit of ham stock in there. Which if we give it another minute, we should be able to just go ahead and put it in here now.
Well, we can put that. We can assemble that. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Because I know you have one that's really all ready. So we can lower this down a little bit.
Okay.
And then, do we want to get rid of some of that oil?
Yeah, we want to drain some of the oil out.
Okay. Let's put those. If we have that plate, we can put put them on there for a second to just drain, and then we'll get rid of the other oil.
It smells good.
Yeah, it does smell good. Well, that's the onions here and the garlic.
You can smell the garlic. Rosemary.
I think you can probably put it right in here. Yeah. Great. All right.
We'll put our ossobuco back in then.
We'll assemble this. Now you do need a nice big pan that you can put in the oven, huh?
Yes, you do. For 4 of them, you need a nice big one here. Then you want to add your tomato fillets.
All right. Now this, I mean, it takes a little work, but since, as you said, you can do this all ahead of time.
Right.
You know, that this is a nice dinner to serve to family and friends because, again, it's something that you can put in the oven and not have to worry about at the time when you're going to eat.
Once you do the saute part, you could actually put it in the oven, and it's good to go. It takes probably about 20, 25 minutes doing this part here.
Yeah, okay.
And now you want to add some ham stock? A little bit of ham stock.
Interesting flavor combo.
Now at this point, you would cover it up. What we use is saran wrap and then aluminum foil. Everybody thinks saran wrap would melt and shrink, and all. It doesn't shrink or melt. If you put the saran wrap on first, then you put aluminum foil over top of it, make sure it's still real tight, and you pop it right in the oven. The saran wrap won't melt or shrink or anything.
Okay.
It'll stay nice and perfect.
We add this?
No, this will actually go on the finished product.
Okay.
You'll put the pepper and onions right on top of it.
Well, let's do
At this
that.
point, this would go in the oven,
Right.
you know, at this point here.
But through the magic, as they say, of television,
You'll have to grab one out of the oven.
we have one that's already done.
Want to grab that out of the oven?
If you want to get this out of the oven, I think it's in the bottom oven, Chef. Well, that's terrific.
Yes.
I know this. Okay. This I think of as Italian comfort food.
It is.
Because of the amount of time and, you know, the slow cooking process. Okay, we need a plate to put this together. This is what it's going to look like.
Makes the whole house smell good.
Yeah, it does. Oh, boy. There's a nice steamy one. Now, only one of these for serving, huh, Chef?
Right, one would be more than enough.
Well, unless you're Fred Flintstone, yeah.
I'm only kidding.
Just remember now, when you started out, they were 12 pounds, but there's a little bit of shrinkage in the loss and all that. So they probably weigh about 14 ounces once they're pretty well cooked and all that.
Little PMO on top then, too?
Yeah, then we're going to take some PMO here. Pepper and onions. And just want to put a little bit on top.
Well, that would make Mary proud. Mary opened the restaurant in 1950 as a single woman.
Is that right?
As a single woman, yep. She married Nello 7 years later, so that was quite an establishment at that time.
Here's another great use for that. And because those are spices that are incorporated in both the side element and the main dish, it's perfect to do it as a garnish.
As a garnish for it.
Oh, that is just terrific. Chef, I can't thank you enough. This is unbelievable. Italian comfort food at Tambellini's on 7th Street down in the Theater District. Charlie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Chris.
Thank you.
A pleasure to have you here.
Okay.
Again, another of Pittsburgh's Steel City chefs, Chef Dwayne Moore from Tambellini's. Let's hear it for him. Thank you.